Hello everyone, welcome to COUN 7373 Statistics in Literacy Research. I'm recording this video to show you the SPSS environment and to get you started with entering your variable. So we're going to, as you go along with me, as you follow me, you can pause the video and open SPSS at the same time and follow along as I open the app and enter the variables, so you can do the same on your own computer. So I'm using the SPSS on Mac, and so some of the things might be different, but they should be comparable. I'm also using version 22. It's the last version available, but it must be compatible with other versions as well. So we're going to, mine is here in the doc, the IBM SPSS statistics. I'm going to start it from there. And it takes a few seconds for the software to start. So it's this window is going to open. And then things are going to go back and forth. Pages are going to open and close. So you are waiting for this one now. Here we're going to start a new set. Like these are some of the sets that I used before, but we're going to start a new data set. So click new data set and hit OK. All right, so on some, if you're using PC, it might show up here, but at the bottom of the screen, it's gonna show data view and variable view. SPSS is very much similar to a spreadsheet or is like Excel. And here we see cells in data view. Every column is a variable and every row is a participant. So imagine if this variable is, let's say, age. Number 1 is 31 years old. Number 2, participant number 2, 15 years old. Participant number 3, 16 years old. So that's the first variable that you would enter for each participant. And what's recommended for statistical ease to have it, when you're analyzing, have it easier time, to use the first variable as the ID. And that you will, for each participant, you will write a number here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's gonna, because this shows, when it shows this number as, if there's an outlier, or if one of the participants' scores are inconsistent, you would see by the ID number. Okay, we're gonna go to variable view now here. This is the variable view, and so this time each row is going to be a variable. The variable is going to have a name, the type of the variable, the width, the decimals, label, values, missing, columns, alignment, measure, and role. So we're going to go over them together. So first, let's write ID there. That's our first variable. And type, you're going to choose numerical. That's the, it's going to be by numbers. That is the default. You don't have to change anything. Width, you don't have to change anything with that one. Decimals, you may want to decrease to 0, because we don't work with numbers with decimals, like 12.23. We need 12, so 0 decimal. Label, we don't need anything here right now, but we'll talk about that later for different variables. Values, and again, we will talk about this when we're entering the different variable. Missing, keep it none. Columns, alignment, keep it right. Measure, this is gonna be, if it's a scale is generally used for scores, from 1 to 100, from 1 to 2000. And so the smaller the number, the lower is in the scale. Like number 1 is smaller than number 2, smaller than number 3, and 3 is bigger than 2 and 1. So scale is generally used for test scores. But this one is not going to be participant ID. 2 is not bigger than a participant number 1. It's nominal. So every participant has a name. Nominal is for if it's a categorical variable. It's a male or a female. All right, and let's go to the next one. And this one is going to be age. Again, numeric, width, and let's keep decimals to 0. And here we, for SPSS to understand age, we would need, if you're grouping them, you can think about this later, but for now, we will keep this empty as well. And then measure is, it can be nominal, unless you're looking at, if you're looking at age differences, like if you're correlating, if you want to use age as a data point, let's say the older someone, the higher their reading score, then you can keep it as a scale. So that's your choice about on what your research questions are going to be. So if you want, you can keep that one as a scale now. And then for next variable, let's enter gender. And then here we take it decimals to 0 and then go to values. So for SPSS to understand gender, you would need to tell them I'm entering this number to mean this gender, this number to mean this gender. So let's write 1 for female, and then 2 for male. Why? Because ladies comes first. And we say, okay. So this means that for gender, when I write 1, if the participant is a female, I will write 1. If the participant is a male, I will write 2. And measure is nominal. And here, let's write, this time, let's imagine that we're giving a test, and we're going to look at their scores. So let's call reading scores. It's going to be numeric, 0 decimals, no need for value, and it's going to be a scale. And then let's write, for the next one, writing scores. Let's keep the decimal to 0, and let's make it a scale again. Then we would know writing score 0, writing score 1 means a low score, writing score 20 means a higher score, 25 even higher, 60, 80 goes up. All right, now let's go back to data view. Here we have our variables now. So let's open this up a little bit for us to see better. Okay, so let's imagine, now we're going to create an imaginary classroom. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's imagine we have 10 students now, and then their ages. Participant number 1 is 23 years old, participant number 2 is 25 years old, participant number 3 is 21 years old. This is, let's say this is a college class. And participant number 4 is 32 years old, and then 35, 37, 24, 24, 23, 21. Okay, and then gender. Remember, for gender we entered 1 for females and 2 for males. So let's write 2, 2, female, female, 2, 1, 1, 1, female, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so now we're going to make up some reading scores. Let's say 75, 77, 46, 47, 56, 78, 98, 44, 32, 66. And then let's make up some writing scores. 32, 56, 76, 45, 43, 56, 78, 98, 56, 34. Again, because I made up these numbers haphazardly, they don't, like, this part, it looks like this participant has a 75 in reading, but not so much in writing. So, like, thinking back, we can, when we're making up some numbers, we can do it more intuitively. But this I'm just showing as an example so that you can create your own data set and practice with SPSS. Okay, this is all for this session. We covered on how to create an SPSS data set. Now let's save this data set. You go to File, and then Save As. Let's call it Reading, Writing, Scores, June 6. Okay, and then we're gonna call it, save it under Documents. It's gonna save as a SAV document. This is as SPSS variable, SPSS file extension. Let's save it there. And then now we have our data. We're going to fill it out even more a little bit. In the future, we're going to analyze statistics using our made-up variables. Thank you all for listening, and hope you enjoyed this session, and hope you can find it useful. Like I said, as you go along, please pause the video and do the same, so that you can create your own data sets as you watch the video. I'll see you in class. Take care.